0513 local time. The ocean lies perfectly calm. The air is motionless. Deep inside the carrier's operations center, the steady pulse of passive sonar fills the room. Green traces move slowly across dark displays. The watch is routine. Nothing appears out of place. Then the tone shifts. A sharp spike cuts through the background noise. Brief, artificial, impossible to ignore. Transient. The word is spoken quietly, but everyone hears it. The sonar operator leans closer, eyes fixed on the screen. The contact does not move like marine life. It does not drift with the water. It accelerates. Another update follows. New contact, high speed, bearing 274. No flashing lights, no raised voices, only calm, controlled reports. The operator adjusts the filters. The signal becomes clearer. A clean acoustic signature rises out of the noise. Mechanical, balanced, intentional. Then comes the confirmation. Torpedo in the water! The room changes instantly, not into panic but into focus. Screens refresh at once. The contact's speed increases, its depth steadies, the bearing holds. Someone states it plainly. Torpedo release confirmed. Above them, on the bridge, the carrier continues on course. From the outside, nothing seems different. No sudden turn, no visible reaction. 80,000 tons of steel keep moving forward, carving a white line through the blue surface. Below decks, the countdown begins. The tactical display redraws. A red vector stretches out from the dark water beneath the surface, aimed directly toward the ship. Range is closing. Time to intercept. Under 7 minutes. No announcement is needed. No siren breaks the silence. Everyone in the room already understands what the numbers mean. The sonar operator continues, voice steady. Active guidance suspected. Course correcting. That detail changes everything. This is not a simple straight-running device. It is listening. It is adjusting. The officer of the watch does not raise his voice. Condition 1. Anti-submarine protocol. The order moves through the ship faster than any alarm ever could. On the flight deck, sailors pause mid-step. Aircraft crews stop with their hands still on panels. The only sounds outside are turbines, wind, and distant water. Inside CIC, more data arrives. Environmental clutter is stripped away. Thermal layers, background noise, false returns. Only the important track remains. The torpedo's path is now clean. Its speed is consistent. Its direction is unmistakable. The incoming contact is choosing the carrier. The captain enters without ceremony. He does not ask for a briefing. He looks at the display, reads the geometry in a single glance, and nods once. Maintain course. The order feels heavier than any shout. Holding course is not hesitation. It is calculation. Turning too early could make the solution easier for a smart seeker already locked onto the pattern. The carrier stays steady. The torpedo accelerates again. Speed increasing. Depth steady. At another console, a watchstander marks the water column. The acoustic profile suggests a heavyweight design, long endurance built for large vessels. Another update. Closing fast, 6 minutes. The room remains quiet except for voices, keys, and the low hum of equipment. Every word is exact. Every second is recorded. Then the seeker goes active. A new sound appears in the headphones, faint, high frequency, and unmistakable. Active ping detected. That is the moment uncertainty disappears. The contact is no longer searching blindly. It has committed. The carrier still does not turn. Outside, the horizon looks exactly as it did 5 minutes earlier. Sunlight glints across the water. The sky remains empty. But inside the ship, the ocean has become a problem of meters, seconds, and decisions. The tactical plot updates again. The red vector draws closer. The calculations refine themselves automatically. 5 minutes. The captain speaks again. Prepare countermeasures. Stand by. Not yet. The torpedo adjusts once more, correcting toward the carrier's wake pattern. It is learning. It is closing. The sonar operator exhales slowly. No decoys deployed. Holding. Everyone understands why. Release them too early and the seeker may adapt. Wait too long and there may be no second opportunity. This is the narrow edge where procedure meets judgment. 4 minutes. The carrier still holds her line. Somewhere beneath the surface, metal races toward metal, guided by sound, speed, and intent. And in the next few moments, measured not in minutes, but in heartbeats, everything is about to change. 0516 local time. The torpedo is still running. Inside the operations center, the tactical picture tightens. The red vector remains steady, but now there is something else. At first, it is subtle. Then it becomes impossible to ignore. A second pattern rises beneath the noise floor. New contact, the sonar operator says. Low frequency, slow mover. No one asks what it might be. Everyone understands what it has to be. The system begins peeling away the layers. Thermal interference, marine life, background clutter. One acoustic fingerprint remains. Long, Cylindrical, propulsion pulses spaced with military precision. The room seems to lean forward. Shooter contact developing. That changes the entire picture. The torpedo is no longer only an incoming threat, it has become a trail. Track the torpedo, and you can begin tracing the source that sent it. The fire control team overlays the torpedo's path with possible launch angles. Lines tighten, possibilities fall away. A shaded cone appears on the display, like an invisible funnel pointing back into the deep. There, someone says quietly. A single point begins to stabilize near the narrow end of the cone. Range, several thousand yards. Depth, well beneath the thermal layer. Speed, minimal. It is hiding. The torpedo updates again, making a slight correction toward the carrier's wake. Its seeker is still working exactly as designed. The distance continues to close. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. The captain studies the screen without drama, without hesitation. Launch the helicopter. Above deck, rotor blades begin to turn. The sound rolls across the water, deep and unmistakable. A helicopter rises cleanly from the flight deck, tilts forward, and races away from the carrier toward the shaded zone on the tactical plot. Inside CIC, attention splits between two battles. One incoming torpedo, one hidden shooter. The helicopter crew says very little. They do not need to. Their route is already being shaped by data streaming up from the ship. Dipping sonar in 2 minutes, comes the calm report over the net. The torpedo pings again, louder this time. Active guidance confirmed. No one reacts. They simply absorb the information and keep working. Then the carrier finally changes behavior. Not a hard turn. Not yet. Her speed increases just slightly, enough to alter the acoustic picture without making the move too obvious. The wake grows heavier. The water behind the ship becomes more complicated, louder, and harder for the seeker to interpret. The torpedo reacts. Device just corrected, sonar reports. Still tracking. No relief, no frustration, only information. 3 minutes. The helicopter reaches station and settles into a low hover, almost touching the surface. A cable drops. The sonar dome slides beneath the waves. Everyone waits. The seconds stretch. Then comes the call. Contact, solid return. Bearing matches shooter estimate. The shaded cone collapses into a dot. This is him, someone murmurs. The submarine does not maneuver. It does not rush away. It does not dive deeper. That is a decision. It is listening, waiting, trying to learn whether the torpedo reaches its target before it commits to escape. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. The torpedo's speed remains steady. Its course remains aggressive. It is confident. Inside CIC, another option appears on the board. Countermeasures ready, decoys standing by, everything prepared, still waiting. The helicopter refines the position. The sonar image sharpens. Confirmed submarine contact, no change in speed. That detail hits the room hard. A submarine that stays still after launching is not careless. It is deliberate. It believes the shot has a real chance. The captain's voice cuts through the room. Shift priority, shooter is now primary. That is the turning point. The carrier is still in danger, but the logic has changed. The immediate threat is not only the torpedo moving inward, it is the platform capable of launching again. 2 minutes. The helicopter circles once, tight and controlled, keeping its sonar locked. With every pass, the submarine's acoustic signature becomes clearer. Propulsion pattern, shaft rhythm, every detail is being captured. The torpedo pings again, closer now. The tactical display updates in real time. The red track approaches the carrier's defensive envelope. The blue marker over the submarine holds steady. Both contacts are moving toward a decision point. One of them is about to be interrupted. Stand by, the captain says. The room goes completely still. 2 hunters, 2 targets. Seconds left before one side makes the wrong move. 5:19 local time. The torpedo crosses another range ring. Inside the Combat Information Center, the geometry narrows into a thin corridor. The device is no longer searching. It is driving forward, steady, focused, committed. Prepare decoys, the tactical action officer says. The order moves calmly because panic wastes time. On the display, the carrier's projected wake spreads behind her, a complex acoustic cloud shaped by speed, displacement, and sea conditions. The torpedo's seeker rides along the edge of it, making small, precise corrections. Deploy. Behind the carrier, countermeasures slip into the water, quiet and perfectly timed. They open in the wake, creating false targets, synthetic signatures designed to confuse the seeker, draw its attention, and pull it away from the carrier's real acoustic profile. For a moment, it works. The torpedo hesitates. Its track wavers. The red vector bends slightly toward the decoys. Track turning, sonar reports. No one celebrates. No one reacts. Everyone waits. The carrier holds her course. The helicopter keeps its sonar fixed on the submarine, hovering low above the water, rotors pounding the air in a steady rhythm. Then the incoming contact changes again. Correction, sonar says. Reacquiring. The red line snaps back toward the carrier's real wake. The decoys have been rejected. That is the difference between theory and reality. This system is not simply following noise, it is comparing, sorting, adapting. Countermeasures ineffective, the watchstander says. There is no surprise in his voice, only confirmation. 1 minute, 50 seconds. The torpedo gains a little more speed, making up for the lost time. Its seeker pulses again, stronger now, sharper than before. Inside CIC, the room becomes even quieter. Not from fear, from focus. Every person in that space knows exactly how narrow the margin has become. The helicopter crew adjusts position. Shooter remains steady, the sensor operator reports. No maneuvering. That detail changes the meaning of everything. The submarine is still listening, still waiting. It has not tried to escape. It still believes. The captain steps closer to the main display. Helicopter, he says calmly. Mark shooter as hostile. Prepare to engage. There it is. No dramatic wording, no uncertainty. Just a clean shift in intent. The helicopter answers with one word. Roger. 1 minute, 30 seconds. The torpedo is now inside the carrier's inner defensive zone. At last, the ship begins to maneuver. Not sharply, not wildly, but with purpose. The bow swings just enough to break the pattern. Speed increases again. The wake thickens, curls, and breaks apart into a far more chaotic acoustic picture. The torpedo reacts immediately. Track correcting, sonar calls. Depth change observed. Now it is working harder, spending energy, making faster decisions. But it is still coming. Inside CIC, another track begins to matter more. The submarine's signature becomes clearer every second the helicopter maintains contact. Its propulsion rhythm is recorded. Its acoustic profile is controlled, clean, and disciplined. Then something changes. Shooter noise increasing, the helicopter reports. The submarine has made its first real move. It is underway. Not fast, not yet. But the change is clear. It knows it has been found. 1 minute. The torpedo remains the closest danger, but the balance is shifting. The submarine can no longer assume it will simply slip away after firing. The captain's voice stays even. Engage the shooter. The order does not erase the inbound threat. It changes the shape of the fight. The helicopter begins its run, positioning carefully and keeping sonar contact unbroken. The submarine responds late, too late. It makes a shallow turn, trying to slide sideways out of the acoustic cone. That is a mistake. The movement makes its signature sharper. Contact solid, the helicopter reports. Tracking maintained. 30 seconds. The torpedo's seeker pulses again, louder now, closer. Inside CIC, no one looks away. Then sonar calls out. Track losing stability, erratic corrections. The carrier's maneuver, combined with the broken, chaotic wake, is degrading the torpedo's solution. It is burning energy, chasing a picture that keeps changing. 15 seconds. The helicopter commits. Below the surface, the submarine hears it. New sound, new pressure, unmistakable intent. The torpedo breaks its line one last time. It overcorrects. Then comes the report. Lost lock. The red vector fractures, then disappears from the display. The immediate threat is gone. But no one relaxes, because now the hidden hunter understands it is being hunted. 0521 local time. The torpedo is no longer a factor. That truth settles across the Combat Information Center without celebration. No one says it out loud. The red track has vanished, but the room does not exhale. The shooter is still there. On the tactical display, the submarine's marker begins to move. Slowly at first, then with more intent. Its speed increases just enough to be noticed. Shooter maneuvering, the sonar operator reports. Bearing shift southeast. That is the first clear admission from beneath the surface. The submarine is trying to leave. Not racing, not panicking, just moving enough to break contact, slip away, and vanish back into depth and noise. But the window has closed. The helicopter tightens its orbit and lowers again, keeping the sonar dome steady in the water. Every return comes back cleaner now, strengthened by the submarine's own movement. Contact strengthening, the sensor operator says. Cavitation starting. That is the sound no submarine wants to make. It is pushing harder now, trading silence for speed. The ocean punishes that choice immediately. Inside CIC, the tactical picture redraws. The submarine's escape path becomes clear, almost predictable, as the carrier's escorts begin closing from distance. Two surface ships increase speed, spreading wide to cut off open water. Their movement is controlled, coordinated, and precise. This is no longer only protection, it is containment. The captain watches the geometry form on the display and speaks once. Keep pressure. Do not rush. The helicopter shifts position again, moving just enough to stay ahead of the submarine's projected path. The sonar image sharpens into clarity, hull length, propulsion rhythm, depth profile. The submarine turns harder now, trying to break out of the sonar cone. It fails. Shooter turning hard, the helicopter reports. Contact maintained. Every move the submarine makes creates more noise, more exposure, more information. Every second it remains within reach gives the surface force a cleaner picture. Then the submarine drops deeper. Depth increases rapidly as it tries to trade speed for cover. Pressure builds around it. Cold thermal layers stack between the target and the surface. For a moment, the contact weakens. Then it returns. Reacquired, the helicopter says calmly, still tracking. The ocean does not let go that easily. The captain gives a single nod. Proceed. No further explanation is needed. The helicopter steadies, then commits. A counter-response slips cleanly into the water. Not rushed, not dramatic. It vanishes beneath the surface and begins its quiet run. Inside CIC, two tracks now dominate the display. One is escaping, one is following. The submarine detects it almost immediately. Its propulsion rises sharply. Cavitation blooms through the water column, loud and uncontrolled. The escape is no longer careful, it is urgent. The submarine turns again, harder this time, trying to outrun the geometry closing around it. It cannot. The pursuing track adjusts with precise discipline, matching each movement and correcting without hesitation. The distance collapses. On the surface, the carrier keeps her course, steady and composed, already returning to the background of the fight. This is no longer just about protecting the ship, it is about making the message clear beneath the waves. Shooter slowing, sonar reports. Movement irregular. The submarine is running out of choices. Then the contact falters. It stutters, breaks apart, and dissolves into noise. The steady propulsion rhythm is gone, replaced by scattered echoes that no longer match controlled movement. The room remains quiet. No one assumes. No one announces victory. Seconds pass. Then the helicopter speaks again. Shooter no longer maneuvering. That is all. The escort ships ease their speed and hold position, watching the water where the submarine last appeared on the plot. No further pings chase it. No second response follows. The message has already been delivered. Inside CIC, the display begins to clear. One track removed, one threat neutralized, not declared, not celebrated, simply taken out of the equation. The captain turns away from the screen. Resume posture. The carrier eases back toward her original heading. Engines settle. The wake smooths behind her, narrowing into a clean white line. Above deck, aircraft crews return to motion. Hands move across panels again. Routines restart as though nothing had interrupted them. Below the surface, the ocean closes over the last disturbance. No debris rises, no signal follows, only silence. And in this world, silence is never random. 0526 local time. The ocean returns to routine. On the carrier's bridge, the horizon looks unchanged. Flat water, pale light. Nothing above the surface reveals what passed beneath it only minutes earlier. The ship holds steady on her original course. Engines settled into cruise, wake trailing clean and narrow behind her. Inside the Combat Information Center, the atmosphere remains controlled and methodical. No one celebrates, no one gives speeches. They record, timestamps are entered, bearings are saved, acoustic files are copied, labeled, and secured. Every second of the encounter is preserved exactly as it happened. No emotion, no interpretation, only facts. The sonar operator keeps listening, sweeping the same stretch of water where the submarine was last detected. In the headphones, there is nothing now but the natural noise of the ocean. Distant currents, scattered biological sounds, the slow breathing of the sea itself. Shooter remains silent, he says. That is not relief, it is confirmation. The helicopter makes one final wide circle, deliberate and controlled, then climbs and turns back toward the carrier. Its task is complete. No urgent reports, no dramatic calls, only procedure. On the flight deck, the aircraft settles onto steel as smoothly as it lifted away from it. Chocks are placed, rotors slow, sailors move in close, already resetting the aircraft for whatever comes next. Below decks, the carrier's systems return one by one from heightened readiness to normal monitoring. Displays dim slightly, alerts clear, the rhythm slows, but nothing is forgotten. The captain stands quietly at the edge of CIC, watching the cleared tactical plot. Moments earlier, it had been filled with closing lines, moving contacts, and narrowing choices. Now there is only open water. One torpedo launched, one response delivered. No follow-on contacts, no second launch. No further movement from below. The ocean has accepted the result. A final sweep confirms it. No additional contacts, sonar reports. The words are entered into the log exactly as spoken. Nothing added, nothing decorated. Above the waterline, there is no announcement, no broadcast, no visible proof for anyone beyond the ship's crew. The carrier does not change speed to make a statement. It does not launch aircraft in a show of force. It does not remain in place. It simply continues forward. That is the message. In naval operations, absence can mean more than presence. Silence can carry more weight than noise. And restraint, when backed by capability, can say more than any signal ever could. Somewhere beneath the surface, the submarine is no longer part of the equation. Whether it is damaged, withdrawing, or sitting silent in the deep no longer matters. What matters is simple. It is gone, and it did not launch again. Inside CIC, a junior watchstander looks at the clock and records the final line of the event. The entry closes without drama, almost disappearing among the data. Inbound Torpedo defeated, shooter no longer active, carrier mission uninterrupted. That is all. No adjectives, no conclusions. The carrier moves on, unchallenged and unchanged in course or intent. Behind her, the ocean smooths itself out, erasing wakes, swallowing sound, restoring the illusion that nothing happened here at all. But beneath the surface, the lesson remains. One torpedo was launched. It never reached its target, and the platform that sent it did not control how the day ended. Out here, that is all that needs to be said.